Sweep picking. You don't need to be Yngwie Malmsteen to learn this. You just need the right approach. So what is that? What is the best way to learn sweep picking? Well, in the next 5 minutes, you'll learn the easiest sweep picking shape to start with, how to fix the 2 biggest mistakes that cause slow and sloppy sweep picking, and a simple step-by-step progression that guarantees anyone can master sweep picking. Sweep picking can be awesome and mind-blowing, but it can also be very daunting if you're new to it. So where do we start? Well, instead of jumping straight in and trying to learn a solo like this on day 1, we're just going to learn these 3 notes. That's right. The key is E minor, and we have 7, 8, and 9 on the G, B, and E string in a little diagonal line, just like this. And we're going to start by simply sweeping up with 3 downstrokes. Down, down, down. And then we're going to come back down with 3 upstrokes in exactly the same way. Up, up, up. And at first, we're just going to double up the top and bottom note so that we have a 6-note loop that sounds like this. We can already use this simple shape in our solos. Here's a quick example of that. Now, before we move on from these 3 notes, we need to make sure that we're avoiding the 2 biggest mistakes that make sweep picking sound sloppy and slow. And the first mistake makes you sound like this. So when I play the first note, then when I sweep to the second note, I'm using the fleshy part of my right hand to mute the note that I just played. The first note. As I go to the second note, I cut off the first note like this. I don't want them to play over each other. That's bleed, and bleed sounds bad. I also don't want there to be any silence between the notes, making it sound too staccato like this. It needs to be one note ends, and the next note starts at exactly the same moment. And as you can see, it's muted on the way down as well. And the way that I do that is I'm muting with my left hand. So I play the top note, then the next note down. The fleshy part of my middle finger leans over and mutes the string above like this. This is what we want to avoid, and this is what we want. So the whole thing should sound nice and clean and nice and smooth. But what's the second mistake that can wreck your sweep picking and make it sound sloppy? Here I'm playing with a metronome, and this is what we want to avoid. Okay, but this is what we want instead. And the simplest way I can say it is we want every note to last exactly the same amount of time. Also, we want to make sure that we're playing exactly in time with the music, or metronome in this case. Now don't worry if you still get a little bit of note bleed or uneven timing. All you need to do is be conscious of it and make sure that you get plenty of slower practice reps in, and over time you'll start to get cleaner and more in the pocket with your sweep picking, as well as faster. Speaking of playing faster, I will explain how to build the speed. But first, how are we going to get from these 3 notes to something more like this? Here's our 3-note shape again. This happens to be an E minor triad, by the way. Root, 3rd, 5th. So we can add another root on the top here, on fret 12. As we repeat this is going to sound different now, because we're going to do a pull-off on the way down, and we're only going to play the bottom note once. So that's going to look like this. Down, 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 up, pull off, up, down, down, up, pull off, up, down, down, up, pull off, up, down, down, and so on. So with a metronome, or a little slower than that, maybe. Okay. You can also use fret 10, and that's a minor 7. So once we spend some time getting comfortable with that, then we can extend the shape down another octave and get this 5-string shape with a hammer at the bottom, which is played like this. Downstroke, hammer on. Now we do a little finger roll on fret 9. Downstroke, hammer, down, 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 up, pull off, up, and then downstroke. So if you know this A minor bar chord, and then look at where our arpeggio is, it's almost identical. So that makes it really easy to know which minor chord you're outlining. It's quite cool to alternate between playing the top half and the full arpeggio like this. And I actually threw the 7 in there again. when I speed that up, it's already starting to sound really sick. So how do you actually use this in your solos though? Here's our minor pentatonic in E. And this note at the top, on the 12th fret, you'll notice, connects to this minor arpeggio shape. So even better is if you can follow the chords of the song that you're playing over with your sweeps, like I do in this etude right here. By the way, this backing track will be free to download and the link will be in the description. Now, most players, even if they know everything I've taught so far, still find that it takes forever to build real speed and precision with sweep picking. So how do we make sure that we can make rapid progress with building speed into these shapes? Well, for that, we need to practice efficiently. And that means using what I call loops and bursts. And loops is when you set time aside to practice your shapes like this. This is where you go relatively slowly and you're focusing on perfect execution and aiming to get a lot of reps in and really program the shapes into your hands. But what is burst speed practice? Well, that looks more like this. So with burst speed, we're aiming for perfection again, but at a much, much faster speed, only now we make it easier by playing the shape, or even a small part of the shape, only one time. So I go into much more detail on this, by the way, in the Shred Routine roadmap. But for now, what is a simple step-by-step system to go from 0 to being able to play sweep picking like this? Well, 1, we learn and practice this minor triad shape. Step 2, we connect the top note so we have the 1-octave pattern. Step 3 is to learn the full 2-octave version. And by the way, each of these steps might take you a full week or even longer. You just want to make sure that you're really comfortable before you're moving on. Step 4 is to practice moving that shape around the fretboard like we did in the etude. And step 5 is to use that same sequential approach, taking your time, to learn the other 5 shapes, because there's only really 6 shapes that you'll ever need, and I'll put those on screen right now. Then step 6 is to use loops and bursts to gradually build speed and precision into your sweep picking. But will these same approaches to building speed and precision work for other types of licks, like say legato licks like this one? Well, click this video next to get a deep dive into not only this legato lick, but how it teaches us to build insane guitar speed.